First of all, you put on the sweater. You put the sweater on. You look at the mirror picture and see how much of your mascara is on trying today. If it wasn't enough to wear a tank like that the other side, then you just go. Like here, this is okay. I could have left it up, but here's just you should probably go. So hold on. Now see, this is how you know summer ready, because you got stuff that's sticking up. So, grandma sweater, make sure that you're not scared.
Then if that's what you
too
want
much
to do, just do it.
I
I don't. Then stop.
There you are. Probably gonna go ahead. Why do I not have any hair things in my house? I have so many hair things and I can't seem to find
Alright, you're gonna use your phone. Did you get the tutorial on how to get ready to eat on the YouTube? Because she takes way longer than I do.
so long. All you gotta do is just
Got it.
Did you check your mascara?
Yeah, it's fine.
Did you cry today?
No, no more than
Okay.
normal.
Then you're good.
Great. Hi. Welcome to Shelf Control. Today we're going to be talking about Terraforming Mars. That was the next game that we introduced Jenny to. We've got a little bit of a delay because I'd actually found the Ares Expedition at Walmart on clearance, and I thought I should pick it up to give it a try so we can compare the
Well, that's how he
two.
says on clearance, because really he won't pay full price for stuff. It's always on clearance.
It was $11. I did not want to spend $40.
$11.
Yeah.
I did not want to spend
Wow.
$40 on this. So,
Okay.
so
You should have
my initial impression from watching other reviews and stuff was that I wouldn't like Ares Expedition, but for $11, I thought I'd give it a try and see. So, let's start with the original
The OG.
Terraforming Mars. So this is one that I picked up a while ago to play, and I've played it quite a bit. And
Second game we ever introduced Jenny to.
second game we ever
Don't
introduced
do
Jenny
that to
to.
anyone.
We should
Don't do
definitely
that.
do that.
Never
whenever,
do that to a person.
whenever,
if you like them. Is that why you did it? If you like someone, don't do that to them.
So the second game you introduced them to is Terraforming Mars.
No.
Then other games, then come back to Terraforming Mars, and then they'll appreciate it.
And they'll be like, oh, okay, I get it now.
That's not true. That's not true.
Any
So-
noodle noodle doodle.
So why don't you give us your thoughts on the
Um,
original Terraforming Mars?
I hated it. I hated it. I didn't understand what we were
We don't
doing.
have the mic on.
We don't have the mic on.
I wonder if it'll pick up.
We're
We're just
going
gonna
up
pause this for a second. We'll be right back. We don't have the mic on.
All right.
Okay, and we're back with a mic, so hopefully you can hear us better.
Hopefully
if it doesn't
this sounds
sound
okay.
any different, then good. The phone we're using has really good mics.
All right. So I think when you were here last, Jenny was talking about how much she loved Terraforming
Hated
Mars.
it. Okay.
You didn't
Don't-
hate it.
I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. Okay. I had no clue what was going on. I'm reading these cards and I'm like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. Why would I want this card over this card? I have no idea. This one has a bigger dollar amount, so I guess I'm going to go with this one. Didn't have a clue. I'm reading the little things on the cards, and I still don't have a clue. So then I'm like, okay, well, these circles seem to be worth points, so I guess I'll just keep these circle cards, which are also more expensive a lot of times than the other ones.
Yes.
Again,
Norm is great at explaining games. So this is not a Norm issue. This is a don't
Jenny issue?
introduce a person who is new to the gaming world to Terraforming Mars.
She picked up Wingspan so quick that Norm was like, nope, let's introduce her to Terraforming Mars. And I'm like, bold, but okay, let's do it. And you did fine with it.
I didn't.
She did. She
so
did fine.
bad.
She lost
Completely.
horribly. Like,
terribly.
I think the
I had
lowest
5
score.
points.
You did.
Probably. Maybe 6.
It was the record low for all of our plays, but it was our first time, right?
No, but I won at Wingspan the first time I ever played it.
Wingspan, Terraforming.
Yeah,
Mars.
exactly. That's
Different
why you don't
dynamic.
put that in front of somebody. Oh, it was horrible. I never wanted. Here's the thing that happened. I was scared of like any other game you were going to try and introduce me to, and I was like, I don't even know if I think I'm out. I think I have to tap out now. I don't think I can do any more of these games. Because if Wingspan is mildly complex in my mind at the time, then you put this in my lap, I can't get anything else.
We put it on the table. We didn't put it on the lap.
Well, I understand. It traumatized me. I was traumatized. Nightmares.
Well, what did you like about it?
So what about? Was there anything intriguing about the game the first time, or did it take coming back to it? What's your thoughts on it
I
now?
never wanted to play it again. All right, now, where are my
So
thoughts?
you lied to us?
No. When did I ever say, let's play Terraforming
You were
Mars
saying
again?
you said it was okay. You didn't say I don't ever want to play this again.
Well, those are my feelings inside.
You said I'll have to play it again to get a better idea of it.
Yeah. Today I would have probably just said I hate it. I can't play this game. But I mean, it was
Fair
my
enough.
second game, so I didn't want to
Hurt our feelings yet?
yet. Now, here's what happened. Here's how they redeemed themselves. Number one, they introduced me to a lot of other games. They were great. Then this came along. This made me completely understand what's going on here.
Mm.
So I wish we would have done this one first so that I would have had a clue what we were doing. And it's because this is like a simplified version of this game. I don't like this. You want to talk components?
So
I'm not liking it.
we can get to that later. Let's just talk about your what your thoughts are. So this helped you grok what's going on in here.
Yeah.
So then after that, what are your thoughts on this? Are you eager to try this
Yes.
again?
Now I want to play it.
You don't hate it, huh?
No, I don't, but I did.
I see. I see.
I judged it.
You did.
Also,
We're not on the components yet. We're not talking
So
about
don't start somebody off on this one. Just start. It's just like the simplified version. to
Well,
me.
what's interesting is when we got this, I think this one came out right around the time we got Terraforming Mars, didn't it?
It came out a few months after. I think the Kickstarter for this came out a few months after we played this one.
And we talked about it, and we were like, no, we won't get it. Because it's, why get the card game version of it when we already have this one? And to me, I was like, would it just be a waste of money to
it would not.
get this one? Well, for us, you weren't in the picture at the time.
Okay, but I'm here now.
I know, but this was our discussion in that moment of time.
Okay, but
So we were like, okay, we won't spend the money, and he said, it's not worth it. We'll just hold off on it. And then when he found it on clearance, he picked it up and said, let's give it a try.
it's totally worth it.
So when it was just me and my wife playing this game,
Who's your wife?
Lisa. So we played this and we liked it, but then we picked up the app.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh
about
my gosh! No.
that. Have we played that with you?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to go back to the app after you play
Yeah.
this.
So
game.
I enjoyed the app a lot. This Terraforming Mars was very overwhelming for me the first time I played it, and it's just so many cards. It was overwhelming. I grasped it fine. But it was overwhelming. There was a lot of cards. So it was a lot for me to keep up with, like all the actions on the card. So to be able to keep up with all of that and, oh, every time I play this card, I can do this or this and that. And I just don't have enough exposure and experience with that type of gameplay. So where Norm will pick up on those very quickly and is comfortable with that, I'm still adjusting and learning that. So it was a lot for me to keep up with. I did not enjoy Terraforming Mars when I first played it. It was a very intense, heavy game. It took a long time.
Oh, yes.
So
All
that was
the
just
hours.
more than what I wanted at the time. I'll play it now, but I still have to be in the right mind frame to play it. But then when we got the app, I was like, okay, the app keeps up with, okay, every time I play a plant card or an animal card, I put a credit on this card. So it kept up with everything for me, which made it a lot more enjoyable for me to not have to keep up with all of those extras. So that's what I enjoy a lot about the app, and it seems to go quicker. And you can kind of do your own thing in between. So we'll play with a friend of his online sometimes. And while they're going, I can run and do something around the house and then come back and it'll be my turn. So I enjoy a little bit more freedom in playing the app.
The app does a great job of keeping track of the cards and the special abilities. You'll get cards that will make playing other types of cards cheaper as you go. And the app will tell you this card costs you this amount of money, adjusting for those cards. Where when you have a bunch of these cards in front of you, you might totally forget, oh, I pay $2 less for this, and end up paying $2 more than you should every time you play a card.
$2 every time I do this action.
Correct. The app keeps track of that stuff for you. So if it's just me and my wife playing, we'll generally...
And who's your wife?
Lisa.
We just want to be sure that we're all on the same page.
Well, we'll generally just fire up the app and sit in the living room and play that way rather than set this all up. It shuffles all the cards for you. There's a ridiculous amount of cards in this game, but so we like the app. But when we're playing with more people, we found that the board is generally the easier way to introduce this game.
And you upgraded the app. You got it with the corporations.
The Prelude
The
expansion.
Prelude, yeah. So that's if one person in your group playing with the app has that, then everybody will get to benefit from it.
Not everybody has to purchase the Prelude. There's just one person in the group who sets it up has to have it, and then it's included for everybody, which is great. That's what I have in here as well. The only expansion that I have for this is the Prelude expansion, which gives you those couple cards that you can play at the beginning, which kind of jump starts your engine. It'll give you some production.
I don't think I'd want to play without it.
No, because otherwise you're all starting with everything at 0 and then working your way
I can't
up.
imagine starting with that.
Prelude actually jumps. It feels like it jumps you ahead a couple turns.
Yeah.
So you're actually starting ahead, makes the game a little bit shorter.
Well, so you had me play the electronic version after this. Totally did. I didn't even know what I was doing then either.
Really?
Had no idea. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm like hopping back and forth between screen. It was a train wreck. This was the whole game saving grace. So I will be happy to try the online version now.
To try it again?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
For sure.
So yeah, I think we should probably try this with the board again, and then go into the app, because then you'll be more apt to be like, okay, this screen is showing me this is showing me this kind of thing.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
And we'll do it with all of us together. So with you here instead of at your house. Because you were at your house when we did it, weren't you?
No, I was.
You were here?
Okay. Yeah, it was still not. It was. This is the hardest game so far for me to
Really?
learn. The hardest for
Okay.
sure.
You gotta show her brass.
Well, okay, disclaimer. Didn't know what the word terraforming Mars meant. This is a real story. And I can't remember what it was that happened. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they said something about terraforming Mars is making it livable for humans. And I was like, light bulb! Now I know what this game is about. Of course, I'm nowhere near the game at the time.
You know, as
but
we're trying to increase oxygen and the
I have
temperature.
no idea what's going on.
plant
What are we
trees.
doing? What are we doing?
Oceans.
No, it was. I was. No. No. Mm-mm.
I will say that that's probably my fault for when I'm teaching the game and I say that our goal is to terraform Mars. That
We
I
just assume
Assume that people know what terraforming Mars means?
So I guess when teaching this game, might need to like step back.
Yeah, it depends on your
Let's go back to science
students,
class.
you know?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I was also playing a lot of Animal Crossing on my Switch, and I was terraforming on there, and it was just terraforming on there is just moving the earth and making it different. It's not increasing oxygen or doing anything
But
like
it's
that.
still
or
making it
growing stuff.
livable, like changing.
No, it's literally just changing the.
Terra.
Is this
You're
yeah?
forming the Terra.
You're forming the Terra. Is this grass or is this sand? So, yeah. Once I understood what the title meant, that helped me a lot. So.
All right, so I don't think that it would be fair for Jenny to give a number rating for this right now. Would you agree? You would need
I'd
to
agree.
play it again?
I'd agree. You need some more playing. I think you've played it once or twice.
Since we've played this,
We haven't played this since we've
haven't.
played that.
No, we'll need to give
Okay.
another playthrough.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
So let's then talk about the comparison between the two.
One thing I don't like about the Ares Expedition, I like the city tiles. I like placing cities. I like the cards that have you doing a city and then you're looking for your forests around the city. I enjoy the city tokens. And your Ares Expedition doesn't have that, so you don't have your Noctis City, you don't have your capital city, and I enjoy those. I enjoy those kind of cards. So
With Terraforming Mars, you have a map that has a bunch of hexes for Terraforming Mars, where you're putting your cities, where you're putting the oceans, where you're putting the forests,
volcanoes,
volcanoes, all kinds of special tiles that will go on and actually like form the planet. In
terraforming.
in Ares Expedition, they've reduced it down to you just have a tiny board that has the oceans on it, and whenever you do an ocean, you just flip over one of the tiles. When you build a forest, you're just taking a token that's worth a point and setting it in front of you. I can't even recall if there are some city cards. There probably are, but they would just be cards that would be worth points.
I don't recall seeing any city cards.
And so you don't feel like you're actually changing the planet in Ares Expedition.
Right.
However,
Terraforming that
you
planet.
do understand what's going on, which is really nice. Really nice.
Another thing is with Terraforming Mars, when it's your turn, you can do one or two actions, and there's a list of the actions that you can take. And you can take one and pass, or you can take two in a row and then pass, and then when it comes back around to you, you get one or two actions again. Terraforming Mars,
Ares Expedition.
the Ares Expedition uses, it's comparable to a game, Puerto Rico or Race to the Galaxy, where everyone picks the action that they want to take, everyone reveals it at the same time, and then you do the actions that everyone has picked in a particular order. And if somebody hasn't picked a certain action, then that round, that action doesn't get taken. And so it's just you might, like in a 3-player game, if everyone picks a different action, you'll be doing 3 different things on your turn, and you can pretty much do them simultaneously instead of waiting for everyone's turn to go, which is kind of nice. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel like removing the 2 actions on your turn hurts Ares Expedition.
How so?
Terraforming Mars, to me, that 2-action thing, I don't know how much thought they put into that, but that is the perfect number of turns on your turn, because there's bonuses that you can get. You know, if you get the temperature up to a certain point, you'll get a bonus heat production. If you get the oxygen up to a certain spot, then you get a bonus temperature, and if you get the temperature up high enough, you get a bonus ocean. And also, there's the milestones,
Right.
where the first person, if you get 3 cities, you can claim mayor. If you get 3 forests, you can claim gardener and things like that. And it seems like all of those bonuses are like 3 actions away from you. And so it's like, okay, if I take 1 action to bump this up, anyone coming after me could then do 2 actions and claim it. But if I do 2 actions, then I'm still not there. The next person can only do 1. And so there's a tension
Right.
in this game that I don't find in Terraforming Mars.
I agree with that.
Where
Well, there is a tension in this because we all can kind of move at the same time. If you're not the first person to notice that the temperature's being increased or the oxygen's being increased, then you might lose out on getting those.
Well, you wouldn't lose out that round. You'll still get your terraforming rating
Right.
up if you do it that round. But let's say the last round, I upped it up. You didn't pay
Right.
attention. The next round, you're not getting any benefit
Right.
out of it.
Right.
Yeah, they've added a rule in here where if the temperature goes all the way up, or oxygen is all the way up, or all the oceans are flipped, during that round, people can still do actions that would raise the temperature, oxygen, or flip oceans and still get the credit for it. In Terraforming Mars, the board game, if I up oxygen all the way up on my turn, anything that other people do to raise the oxygen is not going to is not going to get them the terraform rating, which is points at the end of the game. So there's this, I don't know, the best description I can give is that this has a tension to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like every time it's like, okay, do I bump this up 1, hoping that nobody else notices or has the capability to bump it up twice, so then when it comes back around to me, I can jump in with my 2 actions and do it. Or if you run out of actions on your turn, if you don't take 1 action and pass, then you're done, and everybody else can continue until they pass. And so there's times where it's like you might feel safe, like it's like, okay, I remember I was playing this one game with a friend of mine, and I had 3 cities out and could claim mayor, but he only had 1 city out. So I was like, okay, I think I'm safe. I'll pass. So on his turn, he's like, I'm going to play out a city. I'm going to play out a city. And because I passed, I couldn't go again. And then he was like, I now have 3 cities. I'm going to claim mayor. And I'm like, you jerk. So there's almost like a benefit to just taking your 1 action and passing. And taking your 1 action.
Yeah, you tend to do
passing.
that a lot. You tend to just take 1 action. And I will always usually take 2.
Because I'm afraid that I'm going to run out of actions.
And be able to get
And I'll have to pass and then let everyone else just do whatever they want. And I just sit here and watch all my plans fall apart. So I generally won't take the 2 actions unless I need those 2 actions to claim something.
Right.
So this feels like a Terraforming Mars for people who don't want that tension. Who don't excuse me, who don't want that pressure of, do I do this now? What if I can't do this and somebody else comes in behind me? This doesn't have the milestones for having 3 cities
Mhm.
or three forests, and they've come out with 3 expansions for this,
For that one.
which have added in the milestones and some things like that. But
Well, to me, if you keep adding a lot of those things, you're going to end up with
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars
and
again.
that was my thought on it. Like, do I want to buy expansions to make this more like this?
No.
No.
No, I want to play this.
I got the tension here.
Mhm.
I don't want the tension here.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is really for people who cannot grasp this.
So if we want to play Terraforming Mars with Jenny, this is the way we're
No.
going to go.
No. I
To
want to go
start.
back to this, but to start somebody out on this makes it a lot easier to
To
understand.
transition into the bigger one.
For sure.
Now, one thing that is interesting, one of the expansions for this changes it into a co-op game where you're working together, and instead of terraforming Mars, I don't know how it works, but it's set up to where Mars is terraformed, and as the game goes, things are going wrong, and it's almost like Mars is trying to get back to how it was
Nature's
before.
taken over.
And so you've got to work together to keep
Mm-hmm.
Keep it
keep it
terraformed.
terraformed.
That would be interesting.
I'm interested in that, but I'm like, I don't want that for this.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to take that, make it an expansion for this.
Interesting.
I would love to see them do a co-op for this. I'm not prepared to buy expansions to fix this into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm kind of giving away my thoughts between the two. If I was going to give a number rating, Terraforming Mars, the board game, would be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
That
I-
doesn't surprise me.
I really like this game. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have flaws. It can take some time. Something that some people complain about is the art in this game.
Oh, I love the art.
So
Yeah, that's one thing you and I talked about when we first got the game. Like, the art was very 80s, old.
it feels very much like stock photography pictures. They'll be like photographs instead of drawings, and it to me thematically I feel like it works.
Yeah, it's a compliment to the
Because
game.
the cards that are laying out in front of you almost look like a PowerPoint presentation, which for most games would be a total turnoff. But I'm playing as a corporation trying to make money terraforming Mars. And a PowerPoint presentation, that fits right in with my idea of a corporation trying to do stuff. So that art actually works for me. They've changed the art in this and had artists draw stuff, and it's a lot cooler looking. But to me, I don't feel like a corporation doing projects anymore. It's just cool pictures on cards. I'm not even like paying attention. What are your thoughts
I
on
agree.
the art between the two?
I love the art in Terraforming Mars. Again, when we first started looking, so I mean, just an interesting story. I got this for him for Christmas a few years ago, and actually it was a counterfeit game
from
so
Amazon?
I had ordered it from a private,
Okay.
and it was a counterfeit game. So we got it Christmas morning. He opened it, and I think it was off of Groupon, not a sponsor, and and it was a counterfeit game. So he opened it. He was so excited to have it. Started going through the components and realized something's off on this. Now, when I saw the artwork, that was questionable to me, and I'm like, wow, this doesn't look like a $50 game, you know? And so we realized it was counterfeit. We got our money back. We ordered the real game. and got it. And to me, I was surprised to see that the art was the same. And so in looking through all of the art and playing the game, it fits it so well. It fits the theme of the game. It just fits the game overall that I enjoy the artwork a lot. It would have disappointed me, I think, had it been fancier. So the artwork for Ares Expedition is fine. I like the original. I like that old school picture. You're terraforming Mars. It's in its natural habitat that you're fixing it, upgrading it, and so you've got these old looking pictures that just kind of complement it.
I don't remember the pictures on that one. It's been so long.
Well, let's break out example here.
Yes. I see
It's
those
the
two.
old.
No, those definitely are better
So
between the
you
two.
can see,
They look much more
no, it's just
I would even say expensive. They look
Really?
Yeah, versus these. 'Cause these are just like printed out of whatever.
Yeah, I'm pleased with these. Anyway. So no, I agree. I like the artwork on the original game.
I mean, even though you don't want my rating on these, I would still say overall that one's better than this one, but this helped me to understand what was happening here.
interesting.
Terraforming Mars is I don't mind playing it. Again, I have to be in the right mind frame to play it. It takes a long time. I'm not one with just keeping up with all the cards that I have, so that can be a little overwhelming for me.
I love cards.
I know you do. So it's overwhelming for me to have that many cards in play, to remember what plays off of each other. He's very good at that. I am not. As far as, so every time we play, I will be in the lead as far as my terraforming rating. I will probably have the most temperature changes, the most forests. I'll have all of the terraforming markers out there. But he will always devour me when it comes to adding the points at the end of the game, just based off of his cards. He just is more.
Also me.
Yeah, I mean it's just you've got more of that strategy involved when he's knowing what card to play off of other cards and what complements other things. And I'm just not there yet. That's not how my brain works in gameplay. So he will always win this type of game because of the cards. And it's just a little overwhelming for me. I'll get there the more I play it. I would say this is maybe a 7 for me. It's not way up there. It's not my favorite game. I will play it when I'm in the right mind frame. I do like this one, the Ares Expedition. It's a little bit quicker, and I like that I don't have to worry as much about all the cards. It's still the same thing. He's still going to beat my butt in card points at the end of the game. But this one's just a quicker game. It's not as intense. It's not as heavy for me. So if we've got time, I'll play this one just because it's not as heavy. But I do like Terraforming Mars better.
What would you give as a point rating for this? If this is a
You know
7.
what? This would be a 7.5. This would be a 7. So I'd still think both of them would be over 7s. But this one is a little bit higher. So
Interesting. I didn't give a rating for this, but if this is a 10, I would rate this one a 6.
that's a big difference.
I could see that.
I would never say, let's play this.
Right.
If I have this.
Yeah.
So the only time I could see saying, let's play this
Is when you need to teach someone.
for introducing
what
someone.
to do.
But even then, I would still try my best to introduce
So,
them to this.
Her daughter and her daughter's husband had the option to get both of these games, and they said which one, and we recommended Terraforming Mars because that's the one we liked the most, and so they got it. She liked it a lot. Her husband did not like it at all, did not like it. So we're going to get both of them over here, and we're going to play this one with them.
Which, that's what I told them. I said, before you give up on it, you really need to try this version, because I think I think her husband gets. There's so much going on for some.
It's overwhelming for a
me,
new
it was-
gamer.
For
It's
me,
very
for
overwhelming
sure.
for a new gamer.
But I think once he grasps what's going on and how everything works together, and I think that's what this one is really good at doing because it's simplified. I think he'll want to go back to that one, for sure.
So we told them, because her other daughter was like, nope, I'll buy it from y'all, because her and her husband really like the game. So we said, just give us a chance. Let us play this one with you before you get rid of this one, and then we'll just see what you think. So, and when you got Terraforming Mars, you upgraded your player board.
Yes, on Board Game Geek, not a sponsor. They have these dual layer boards that will hold your cubes. So if you bump it a little bit, they don't go flying. The Kickstarter version of this came with dual layer boards. The Target version gives you this,
Which is horrible.
I never even played Terraforming Mars with
The original
paper.
player
I
board.
bought these before we even played this, because I was like, if we bump it with our elbow, we're in trouble. I don't like this at all.
No, you've gotten us spoiled. And it's so easy to knock everything off of this that it surprises me that even game developers still do this. I mean, it's going to add a couple dollars to do the double layered board. I think it's worth it. Or even just as a developer, throw it in. This is...
And I can
this is
understand
poo-poo garbage.
If this is normally $11, then that's great. Don't splurge on that. But this is normally $35, $40.
Yeah. Don't give me this.
No.
Don't give me this.
And you can't. Board Game Geek doesn't make. You can't get it.
Oh, the
dual
Ares
layer this.
Expedition doesn't have the dual?
So
unless you got the
you
Kickstarter.
have to have the special. There's a Kickstarter edition. I think they call it a collector's edition that I think you can find on Amazon or some other places to maybe get them. But you can't just buy these separate like you're able to buy these.
The whole thing is, and I hate to use this word, but cheap.
Yes.
This one, the whole thing is just cheap. I mean, even the box itself is not. You've touched that box. It's a nice box. This is like macaroni and cheese box. I don't know what you want to call it, but you got that. You got this floppy thing. The board is tiny. Not that you need a big board.
Well, we've upgraded quite a bit of this one. I mean, we ordered the
We got some 3D printed stuff to hold the
to
cards.
hold the cards and to hold the cities and the forest. So we upgraded this one a bit because
But
what we did.
even the money
Yeah.
in this version
That's upstairs.
has a shiny metallic to it, where this version has like a marbleized plastic version that feels that looks
It's cheap.
Looks
It
cheaper.
just is
and
great
it's-
teaching tool. Wouldn't say give this away as a gift.
What?
It's a great teaching tool, but I wouldn't say give that one
Oh.
away as a gift.
Okay.
like you wouldn't say, here, I want you to have this
Right,
and play it.
right.
It'd be more like, I want you to experience this
So that you know how to
so
do
you can have
this.
this.
Right.
That's where I'm at when it comes to whether you keep it or not. I'm torn.
Of keeping this?
This is a definite keeper. This is probably a mainstay in our collection for a long time and getting played. I've introduced it to my cousin and his son, and then they loved it. We've played it a lot. Since they love this one, I'm not interested in introducing them to this. I don't care if I have this. I don't. The only reason that I would want to keep this is, like you said, to introduce other people.
That's actually what I was going to suggest.
But but I would still try my best to introduce them to this.
It's so and maybe other people would do fine with being introduced with that.
like, I think some of the problem was that this was number 2.
Yeah, that was
Right,
part
probably,
of the
yeah.
problem.
That
Yeah.
it should have baby stepped up to Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
But hey, you should take it as a big compliment that Norm was like, I'm introducing her to Terraforming Mars because she
Well.
did so good at Wingspan.
Yeah,
That-
she understood Wingspan right from the beginning, just took off running. And I was like, let's see.
See how far she
Let's
can run.
knock her back
Let's-
down real quick.
Got to put her in her place. No, I agree. I think that I say we let her daughter and her husband, we play this with them just to see if we can convince him to give this another go. But then let's get rid of it.
I mean, you never know who else you're gonna want to introduce.
No,
to
no, it's
Terraforming
called
Mars.
shelf control.
I know, but this serves a purpose.
Not anymore.
It could still.
No.
There's more people out there that.
The only thing that makes me curious about this is, will I want to get that expansion
The co-op.
for the co-op? Or will they come up with one?
So
for
maybe
this?
it's just an in-between keeper. I mean, we got plenty of games to go through before you have to make a decision.
No, the whole purpose is to get rid of as
I
we
know. I
review.
understand, but without this game,
Since we started this channel, we've probably brought in at least 15 new games, which eventually we'll go through. How many have we gotten rid of?
0. But we're just starting.
you got Monopoly?
So far, I
You can get
mean,
rid of
on this
that.
channel, we've covered Wingspan.
And Terraforming Mars.
So, Wingspan is staying. Terraforming Mars is staying.
Ares Expedition will go.
This-
Eventually.
This
Okay,
is
I'll just
Eventually.
take it to my house in case we need it.
this is staying long enough.
Because there's going to be a day.
All right, then we'll give this one to Jenny. She can take it
I'll
home
take
with
it
her.
and I'll keep the ones that people might need if they need to learn how to play a game.
Okay,
The,
fair.
the emergency stash.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
And then it declutters your. It's not even going to remotely declutter anything.
So this is a good start. So now we have an opening for a new game.
No, we
So-
have so many coming. No.
So, this is the whole goal of shelf control. It's the fight against board game entropy, where things just keep building up chaotic, and we're trying to control this.
You've lost that fight.
So
I will not give up that fight.
Well, we're fighting, but
anything else with regards to either of these games?
and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna play that again for sure, and I will eventually go back to the electronic version just to try it. But if it hadn't been for this one, this game would not have. I would have probably just been like, no.
Never again. Interesting.
I mean, it may be down the road, maybe a few years down the road. Let me try it again. You know.
So I like this more than the electronic version,
Mhm.
more than the app game. And I'd say I like the app game more than this one.
I would say with the Puerto Rico / Race for the Galaxy, the way that you select your actions is interesting in this, but I feel like I would enjoy that more in a different game.
Uh-huh.
I do like
Yeah.
that component of this game.
We have Puerto Rico. We don't have Race for the Galaxy, which is weird, but we have some games like this that use this mechanic. If we didn't have any of those, then maybe I could see keeping this for that mechanic, but that mechanic exists, and Terraforming Mars exists. So for us, this just isn't it. And for me, it comes down to that tension.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just enjoy that tension where, also, for every card that you want to keep in your hand, whenever you get more cards, you have to pay $3 just to keep that card, to then pay more money to play later. And so there's that tension
Yeah,
there
yeah.
of, oh, this card is really good. Am I ever going to play it?
Right.
Because every card that's in your hand at the end of the game, if you end the game with 15 cards in your hand, that's $45 that you just wasted to keep those cards.
And here you're given 8 cards to start the game with. And those are your cards. You're not paying for it. So when you have your corporation that you're starting with and that money's in your pocket. You're not having to use any of it to buy your cards. So I like that. And then there's also you can get rid of a card for $3. So you have much more opportunity to get cards in this game, which is good because I'm so tight with cards. Like this woman, her comfort level is having a handful of cards. So she usually always has the max 10 in her hand. So I don't, though, because I don't want to pay for the cards. I want my money for the cards that I do for sure want to play. But then I don't have a lot of cards in the game, where she has so many more options to play cards because she'll buy more up front. But then at the end of the game, she may have 7 cards in her hand. And to me, I'm like, no, that's $21. That's not...
Okay, but the thing about this is that this one helped me understand without having to pay.
Right.
It helped me understand how to look at the cards and make them work together.
You could keep the cards without the worry of, I don't even know what this card does.
Exactly.
Do I pay $3 for it?
Or am I even going to be able to use this because how quickly is the oxygen going to go up or whatever. So to me, this was super helpful in many ways, teaching me that game.
Right. Yep.
In this one, every card in your hand, you can discard at any time for 3 money. The exact opposite. Cards equal money in this game. And so the last game that we played, I played out a bunch of cards that whenever we take the action to draw more cards, I would draw more cards than everybody else. And it got to the point where instead of doing production where I get my income, it was more profitable for me to just draw cards and be like, I don't care what these cards are because every single one of these cards is 3 money.
Right.
And that's giving me more money than doing production with my money income.
Yeah.
And that feels weird to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm making all my money just by drawing as many cards, and then your hand size is 10, so at the end of the turn you just discard whichever ones you don't want for 3 money each, and that's how you get your money. I could see some people finding that enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it felt like I had 2 different ways of getting money, and I would just always pick whichever one got me more.
Right.
And
now, do you know who won that game? You beat me by 1 point.
1 point.
1 point. I could have gotten another point.
So
that makes me sick.
So I hopefully this has given you some information as to which you would prefer. Just because we don't like this as well doesn't mean that you won't. You might like the less tension game when you're sitting down and playing. For me, there's just something. Every decision in here, there's like some payoff. Do I pay $3 for this card? Do I take 1 or 2 actions? Do I claim this milestone now? There's like so many decisions that seem important in this game, where here there's none of that tension. It's just, okay, I'm gonna play this card now. I'm gonna take this action now. I'm gonna do this now. And you're building out a tableau which could get you an impressive spread of cards, but without that tension, I just don't feel like I've accomplished stuff like I have in this one. So if that's what you're looking for, then this might be just the thing. And if you enjoy the card play and action selection in this, then you can get the expansions which add in some of the things that I think might add in some of the tension. I don't know how those work, but for me, it's not worth spending more money to make this more like this.
Right. Agreed.
So what are your thoughts? Have you tried Terraforming Mars. Have you tried Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you like them both? Do they both stay in your collection? Would like to know your thoughts.
Have you terrified someone of wanting to even play the game because you introduced it to them too early?
So yeah,
Let us know.
Have this be the first game you introduce. Let us know how that works.
Oh my god.
Or somebody just being a little dramatic and, let us know your thoughts on that too.
One tip, I would explain
What terraforming means.
Oh, come on! That was my fault.
That might
was my fault.
help with
That
those
might help
understanding.
understand the whole dynamic of the game.
Could have helped. I don't know.
So anyways, thanks for watching. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe. That helps us out. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, and we'd like to keep going through our collection and have you join us on the journey, figuring out what stays and what goes as we control our shelves.
Yes. Yes. And we just bought more shelves.
You guys are never gonna get rid of them.
No, the shelves we bought are now full, so everything is full. So now we got to make room for the new stuff that's coming. So stay with us, and we'll go through them all.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna blow my nose.
You're never gonna get rid of these games.
I am getting rid of these games.